Hola! The dystopian future of our world. Number one, central bank digital currencies, which is the Fed coin or the Federal Reserve coin. Number two, health passports. And number three, how all this plays into a social credit score. Step number one, CBDCs, central bank digital currencies. In the case of the United States, it would be the Fed coin. We will see how the central bank digital currencies will tie into a social score here in the US, just like the one that China already has. China's social credit system ranks citizens and punishes them with throttled internet speeds and flight bans if the Communist Party deems them untrustworthy. For more information, go to George Gammon. Hola, from Colombia. With the present great world confusion, I wish to do my part to accelerate the evolution of human consciousness. Please help by subscribing and sharing these videos. Thank you. Right now, the Fed is removed from the banking system. The Fed does not create the dollars that circulate in the real economy. The banking system, the commercial banks, are the ones that create the dollars by making loans to the people, and then those dollars circulate in the economy on things like groceries, rent, car insurance, buying a house, etc. All the data from these transactions goes to the individual banks every single month on your bank statement. Fortunately, there are thousands of banks right now in the US. Therefore, that data is relatively decentralized. There is not one bank that would have all of this data in a centralized location. Now, let's see how it would work with a central bank digital currency. The Fed would have a direct relationship with average Joe and all the entities in the real economy. They would now get around the commercial banking system. The Fed would be able to create loans and control the amount of dollars created, and more importantly, who gets those dollars and how fast they spend those dollars that they are receiving. Once the Fed is creating the loans, all of the data is held by the Fed. All the people in the real economy would now have bank accounts at the Federal Reserve. All of the transactions, the rent payments, school payments, insurance payments, buying groceries, buying a house, you name it. Now, all these payments will go to a centralized database with the Fed. Who's controlling the politicians, the mainstream narrative, the corporations, big business, and so on? It is the global elite. The global elite, are going to be pushing the climate change card to achieve more and more control over you. Clearly, humanity in general is destroying Earth and therefore must be completely controlled by the elite, who are the only ones that care and know what must be done for the greater good. Step number two. Now let's look at health passports. You can fill in the word that is missing here. You know, we must remain YouTube friendly. Your vision of the health passport right now probably looks like this. You're here and you are holding your phone. If you have all your government approved medications, that is what we will call them, you will get a green star. You can now go to the restaurant, gym, bar, travel. In other words, participate in society. However, if you don't have all your government approved medications, then you have been bad, very bad. And on your cell phone, it would show a red star. Now, if you try to do any of those fun things, you will not be allowed. Places like New York, San Francisco, New Orleans are now mandating the medications. In the future, more and more cities will make it illegal for businesses to serve you if you have a red star. I think this is a fair description of how most of you think the health passport will operate. Unfortunately, I think you're wrong. What I want to bring to your attention is something called IOB. Instead of the Internet of Things, it is the Internet of Bodies. This is a post from the World Economic Forum. The Internet of Bodies is here. This is how it could change our lives. We're entering the era of the Internet of Bodies, collecting our physical data via a range of devices that can be implanted, swallowed, or worn. The result is a huge amount of health-related data that could improve human well-being around the world and prove crucial in fighting the cerveza sickness. But a number of risks and challenges must be addressed to realize the potential of this technology, from privacy issues to practical hurdles. The deluge of data collected through such technologies is advancing our understanding of how human behavior, lifestyle, and environmental conditions affect our health. It has also expanded the notion of health care beyond the hospital or surgery and into everyday life. This could prove crucial in fighting the cerveza sickness. Keeping track of symptoms could help us stop the spread of infection and quickly detect new cases. Researchers are investigating whether data gathered from smartwatches and similar devices can be used as viral infection alerts by tracking the user's heart rate and breathing. The central planners, in real time, would be able to determine your temperature. This would immediately give you a red star and make it illegal for businesses to serve you or participate in society because you are now a health risk. We need to lock you in your house because it's for the greater good. It would also be able to determine your vital signs. If your vital signs are not looking good, you get a red star. Also, it will show if you have all the approved up-to-date meds and boosters. So if you are not up to date on all your monthly booster shots, everything that has been mandated by the government, again, that's going to be a red star. Step number 3. So what will happen when someone with a green star interacts with someone with a red star? Let's say you're invited to a party. You will want to make sure that everyone at the party has a green star. Now, let's just say you're invited to your sister's house, your mom's house, your friend's house. You want to make sure that everyone has a green star, because if they don't have a green star and you get within their proximity, you will immediately get a red star because you are now a potential health risk. By now, everyone is saying that's absolutely impossible. The government can't track where I have been or who I have interacted with. That's crazy talk. You're just fear-mongering. Here's an app. called Life 360. Locate your loved ones in real time. Know they made it safely. Encourage safer driving. Feel free together. Not only can the app determine where you have been and where you are at all times, it can also determine if you have been speeding, texting and driving, or maybe you hit the brakes too hard. Yes, that's a no-no. You are a risk to society, and therefore, for the greater good, that is going to affect your social score. So, the real-time data going to the government not only includes every single one of your transactions, your monetary transactions, financial transactions, through a central bank digital currency, it will also include your temperature, your vital signs, your meds, and your boosters. It will also include if you contacted someone with a red star. This will automatically give you a red star until you go through at least a 2-week quarantine. Further, it will also show if a business has broken the rules and decided to serve you. If you have a red star and you go to a restaurant, that restaurant can potentially be put out of business. This is what the future might look like. I want to make it clear. These are not necessarily predictions, but I am trying to point out that we are on a very slippery slope, and the technology and the narrative is out there to take us to this dystopian type of future. By now you're saying, if everyone just got the required medicines, we would not have any of this to worry about. In fact, I drew a character called Conforming Karen, who looks very similar to Moody, the millennial. In fact, Karen could be Moody's parent. Karen is pissed off and asking the question over and over again, constantly. What's the big deal? Why not just conform? It's just a rule. We have to have rules in order to have a civilized society. My response is to give them all a little history lesson in part 2 of this video, to show the dangers of governments taking more and more power and taking away more and more of your freedoms. Due to my peaceful non-cooperation, I went to prison. I describe my prison experience in my book, True Freedom is Inside of Me. Please visit my bilingual website. The only solution is very simple. I must collect to my true self, my soul. Easy to say, not so easy to do. Please go into action now and make the choice between listening to your ego-mendacious mind and the external authorities, or listening to your soul, the internal authority. I consult and offer tools so that you can find your individual solution by making contact with your soul. Your soul will then effectively guide you through the upcoming, long-lasting, turbulent transition. Infinite love.